Monday Night Chat with Wong Chen.
Brought to you by the Member of Parliament for Kelana Jaya in collaboration with Invo.
Okay, welcome to Policy Monday. This episode we're going to talk about the drug policy in Malaysia. We'll consider how big the problem is, and then we're going to look at possible solutions. In fact, even considering the issue of decriminalizing the entire drug system as done in Portugal. Okay, so we'll just start with how big is the problem. We look at the drug issue as a bipartisan issue where both sides are very worried about the alarming number of drug users in Malaysia. In 2015, there's a study that says that the estimated amount could be close to about 500,000, where about 250,000 are registered, and unregistered is probably about that amount, the same amount or even higher. But recently in Parliament, in the November sitting, there was a question in Parliament asked, and the number that the minister gave was a staggering 700,000. Yeah. So what is the context of 700,000? If we assume that drug takers are mostly men, so we're looking at mostly about 600,000 men and about 100,000 women who are drug users in Malaysia. As you know, Malaysian population is 31 million. The population size between the age of working population between the age of 16 to 55, we're assuming that kids younger than 16 are most likely not taking drugs, and people above 55 are not taking drugs, because we're assuming if you're a heavy drug user, your life expectancy will be less than 55. So if we look at those numbers, we can estimate roughly out of the 31 million people, 19 million falls into that age group of 16 to 55 years old. And now if we look at the split between men and women, if we take the middle path, it's 9.5 million population. So 600,000 drug users who are men out of a population of 9.5 million men in Malaysia of working age, that comes to a staggering 6.3% of the working population are drug addicts. What it means is basically if there's 100 people in a room, you're looking at 6.3 person being a drug user. So that is quite a high number. Now, is our drug policy working? I know we have one of the toughest drug laws in the world, where it's mandatory death sentence. Bearing in mind, of course, in the November sitting, we did pass a new law on the Dangerous Drug Act, where we remove capital punishment. Well, not remove capital punishment. We allow the judge to decide whether to impose capital punishment or life imprisonment. Yeah. So obviously capital punishment is not working, so that's not deterring people enough. Education is a big problem, but I think the biggest issue about drugs is really a bad relationship between the drug users and also the relationship to the drug that he uses. And that stems mostly from psychological impact, and in the context of Malaysia, we're looking at the breakdown of family. We're very concerned about a high rate of divorce in Malaysia, in particular amongst the Bumiputra community, and that is reflected back into the system where the number of drug users are 80% from the Malay or Bumiputra community. So we see a direct correlation between the two. So a good policy may be trying to resolve the family structure, and the family structure is always, most of the divorce happen due to either affairs, which is quite small actually, but most of it is due to the fact of monetary issues, about not enough having not enough income, not enough wages, and so forth. So we know one thing for sure, it's not working. As I say, this is a serious matter for the Bumiputra community, and for us in the opposition and the government, both are bipartisan on this issue. I have spoken to ministers before on the matter, and they are as concerned as we are, because as policymakers, we are primarily concerned about productivity and the quality of the citizens we have in Malaysia. Yeah. So let's quickly look at the alternative. In Portugal, because there's a big article out in The Guardian last week, and I assigned my interns and the officers to have a look. So we did have a quick discussion, but I'll just give it very simple. Portugal decriminalizes the drug taking or the users. The users are not put in jail. If they catch a user, they usually find them and put them under a program where they can receive methadone, or they have to report back or go through some counseling. Now, by doing that, they kept out a lot of people from prison, and they tried to repair the system. But essentially, the most important point to take away is this: they look at it as a health issue, a psychological issue, and not as a crime issue. Yeah. By doing that, we have seen the numbers in Portugal drop, but they have not dropped completely. they have maintained at a level, but at the height of the issue, in the early 80s, Portugal had 10% of its working population on drugs, and it was just too much. As I said earlier, we're at 6.3%. Yeah. Now, if we treat it as a medical or health issue, then we have to start to redesign our policies to be sympathetic or at least empathetic towards people. In Malaysia, we're already taking certain steps that Portugal has. We already have methadone programs, and we do give free, clean syringes, yeah, so that people do not catch and pass on HIV or STD to other people or any other blood disease. Now, the important thing, I think, is this. If we're at 6.3% and Portugal only did its major reform at 10%, are we willing to wait for another 4% growth in the population before we do something drastic? And that, I think, is a big policy question we have to ask. We may have to set aside all this moral argument and say, look, can we really do something, and look at it as a longer term solution, as a health issue rather than a criminal issue. Because if we continue this hard stand on drugs, what we're doing is we're just increasing violent crimes. We're putting people in jail when they don't really deserve to be in jail. They are, they're suffering from psychological issues. They shouldn't be in jail. If, because they come out from jail, they become criminals. Yeah, and also we are also encouraging corruption where illegal drugs are being traded up and down, and with possible government police involvement in the matter. Yeah, so that's it for Policy Monday. No real solution, but we can look at Portugal and try to learn and pick up some of those issues. We can even look at medical marijuana if that's acceptable. But again, let's not wait this too long because the crisis is growing. From 2015, we had 500,000, and in 2 to 3 years, we are seeing the numbers increase to 700,000 people. So we must do something. That's it for Policy Monday this week. Okay, this week on Q&A in 60 seconds, we've got about 6 questions prepared by the interns. So we're going to have a go at this and try and do it in 1 minute. Okay, are we ready? Let's start. Okay, what are my views on Dr. Mahdi returning his awards to the Sultan of Selangor? I don't really like Dr. Mahdi, but I think what he's done is actually quite good. If he has to live by his principles, if the Sultan is upset with him, he should return it back. Number 2, comments on Bank Negara's draft regulations on cryptocurrency. It's good. We have to regulate cryptocurrency. I mean, the whole Bitcoin thing has gone extremely ridiculous. The last time we spoke about it, it's gone up to like $24,000 US. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Number 3, expectation on timing on GE14. GE14 is still going to be in my opinion, in March or April. Okay. Nasi lemak or roti canai or chao kway teow? This question is from, I think, Eugene. Nasi lemak. How was the Star Wars movie? Excellent. You all have to watch it. I mean, it's new, it's great, it's fun, it's funny. Yeah. Advice on Malaysian this Christmas: don't drink and drive, and cuti Malaysia is the best way to do it. Okay, that's it.
Hey, my name's Sam. I'm working as an intern here, and to be honest, I really had not much of an interest in politics or any economical issues up until I've joined this office, because boss has really opened up my eyes to a lot of the current issues going on, and he's really honest about it and upfront about it. He's very different from your typical parliament members, and I really respect that about him.
Hi, my name is Eugene. I'm currently an intern for about 2 weeks at YB Wong Chen's office. I'm a student from Western Australia at UWA, and I'm studying engineering and maths. Having a great time here and hope to learn more from YB.
Hi, my name is Megan, and this is my final time here as an intern. It's bittersweet, yeah. I've been here since forever. I don't know how long have I been here, but I've been here on and off, couple of months here and there. And I think what I would cherish the most after working here and interning here is the friendships that I've had with the office, the current staff and the staff that was before Tina and Abigail, and also the interns, and obviously boss and the volunteers. I've learned so much. I have learned a lot here in this office. Things that I never thought that I would have even, like rice, for instance, or anything to do with agriculture. That wasn't my avenue, but after coming to this office, I got to dabble into being more thorough about agricultural laws or certification systems, things like that. And this office really challenges you to the max. It taught me a lot about work ethics also, to be punctual, something which I'm very lacking in. Spontaneity, being really spontaneous in this office. I work better with order, but this office has, like, you know, it keeps you on your toes. So that is something that I've learned, to be more adaptable in different environments that they put you in. And obviously, boss is a very good teacher. And to whoever that is watching this video, I would really, really encourage you to come here and intern just for at least a month and experience whatever you need to experience here in the Member of Parliament's office. And so here I am. I wish P104 all the best. And yeah, it's a journey like no other.